Welcome everyone, or welcome back. I'm the Tilted Crown Gourmet. This is another collaboration with the incomparable Inquisitive Farm Wife. This is Cookies and Candy 2025. Again, that's Cookies and Candies 2025. Today, I'm going to be bringing you my gourmet Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. What's incredible about this dish is if you've had a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup and you've gone to the store and you get it, sometimes they're not really good. However, if you follow this recipe, you're going to have amazing gourmet Reese's quote-unquote peanut butter cups each and every time. Therefore, without further ado, if you're ready, let's roll up those sleeves, let's get some prep done, and let's get cooking. To start, I want to give you a quick demo on the cups of the Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. So a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup is this big. You have to pardon my refrigerator is filling its water for the ice maker. A standard cupcake cup is this big. So what I do is I get my Reese's Peanut Butter Cup wrapper, I put it inside of my standard wrapper, and I go down and I make a slit with my scissors all the way down, and I usually do these multiple cups at a time, usually 6. I do 6 at a time, but for this demo I just want to do one, and I'm going to show you how I cut down to the height, and I make sure that I keep that Reese's Peanut Butter Cup wrapper down at the bottom of my muffin wrapper, which will become obviously my Reese's peanut butter wrapper. And we make these slits. So once we make our slits, we're gonna pull that out, and now we can see the height of our Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut between the slits in order to get our proper height for our peanut butter cups. And then you end up with this. So if you put them together, you see they are now the same height. Again, so this is how you make your Reese's Peanut Butter Cup wrappers. When you deal with candies and you're trying to replicate something that has been a staple for decades, it's important to get those little details correct. This is one of those details I believe that's important to try to get correct. Now granted, the papers aren't the same. Our Reese's paper is chocolate all the way through. The ones that you buy at the store, sometimes you can get the ones that are chocolate all the way through, and sometimes you can't. These don't happen to be. Nevertheless, I still cut them down to the appropriate size. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to put our peanuts onto a cookie sheet, rimmed cookie sheet. And we're going to spread them out, and we're going to put them into a 350-degree oven, which is approximately 176.65 degrees centigrade. And we're going to let them roast for about 20 to 25 minutes. Once they are roasted, we're going to pull them out, and then we're going to be continuing with the butter part, the peanut butter part, the peanut butter part of our Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Because with this particular gourmet recipe, we are not going to be taking any shortcuts. So no store-bought peanut butter for us. We are going to make our own peanut butter filling for our gourmet Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. I have pulled my peanuts out of the oven, and I'm going to be adding them to my food processor. So one thing I forgot to talk about were specialty equipment that you may need for this dish. One is a food processor. Now if you don't have a food processor, granted you could do this in a blender as well. You do need to have your muffin tin. Also, my recommendation, you don't need it absolutely 100%, but to get a really nice even filling, I would recommend, I have the K Basic that I got from Amazon, and what's great about it, it has these little bumpers that you can put in. This one's 1/4 of an inch or 6 millimeters that I've put in here for our filling thickness. So it's important to have that. You also definitely need a digital scale because you're going to be weighing your chocolate, especially the initial chocolate that you put into the cups. You're going to be weighing that. The chocolate that you put on top of our disc, we can eyeball those, but they're going to be about 3 grams a piece. And you're definitely going to need a candy thermometer because you're going to be monitoring the temperature of a simple syrup, but it's not really simple syrup because it's not equal parts, but it's 3 tablespoons of water and half a cup of sugar. You're going to be cooking that, and we're going to be monitoring the temperature of that. So you're going to definitely need a candy thermometer for that. We're going to then beat that into our peanut mixture. Nevertheless, without further ado, let's move on with our peanut butter portion of our Reese's quote-unquote peanut butter cups. Now granted, these are gourmet, the Tilted Crown Gourmet way. So we're gonna add these to our food processor. These really smell good already because I had when they were roasting in the oven, you just really had that really deep, rich, peanutty smell to them. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna puree this until we have our nut butter. So we have our nut butter. And so I'm gonna pull out our blade. Smells wonderful. That's what our nut butter looks like. Oh, that smells really, really good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to set this down. I'm going to move my motor assembly to the side because we're going to be bringing over our stand mixer. So our stand mixer is going to be coming over, and then I'm going to plug it in and I'm going to raise it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get 1 cup of our freshly made nut butter, and we're going to transfer it over to our stand mixer. So I want to make sure that I have a cup. So I'm gonna, there. So now we have our cup of nut butter. We're gonna add it to our stand mixer, and there's a little bit left over. I'll add that to a sandwich later. Now to our nut butter, we're gonna add in our salt, which is kosher salt, and we're gonna be adding in our vanilla. Now this vanilla is more of a vanilla paste. However, you can use just standard vanilla extract as well. I just wanted to kind of amplify my flavors a bit, and therefore I'm using the vanilla paste. We are going to mix this until it's cooled. And then we'll continue on with our process for our gourmet Reese's peanut butter cups. So I have my water and my sugar, and I'm going to be adding that to my pan, and I'm going to cook this to 248 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 170 degrees centigrade. And we're going to be keeping our eye on this because we don't want it to get too hot, and we're going to be stirring it. Perfect. We are at 248 degrees Fahrenheit or 120 degrees centigrade. And we are going to add this to our nut butter, and we are going to mix this until it's cool. Now that our nut butter our peanut butter has blended, we're going to go ahead. I've turned it out onto some parchment paper, and I'm going to roll it. So again, I want to get this to be 1/4 of an inch thick. So I have my roller, and I want to roll this out to be 1/4 of an inch thick. And I see that I'm having some spillover, which is okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my spatula, and I'm going to cut it, and I'm going to move this piece over to here. And I'm going to do the same thing for over here. And now I'm going to get me another piece of parchment paper. Place it over the top. And we're going to continue to roll. Pull that out. Again, I want to get our pieces that are kind of on the side here, and I'm going to push some in because I want to get as many circles out of this as possible when I cut it to make my centers. Push it in from the sides. Fill in any holes that I'm seeing develop. And it's okay. It's a little bit oily, but that's all right because we're going to be putting this in the freezer. Okay, now what we're going to do, so I have a cutter. This cutter is slightly smaller than the bottom of my muffin tin. So we're going to go ahead and cut out all right, now that we have those cut out, I'm going to put them on a rimmed sheet, and we're going to place them into the freezer and let them firm up. So in a double boiler, I'm putting in my milk chocolate. You could do this technically in the microwave, but I believe that if we do it in a double boiler, we're gonna end up with a slightly superior product, because during our process, this will stay warmer longer because of the residual heat from the water that sits beneath it. And this is how it looks. So we want a nice, smooth chocolate. Now that we have our chocolate melted, we're going to start to fill our cups. I'm gonna put our melted chocolate into our piping bag. Now I'm not gonna put it all in there because I want to keep some of it a bit warm. I'm gonna turn on our scale because what we want is 8 grams of chocolate into the bottom of our cups. Okay. So one, I'm gonna plop that in here. And what I want to do is I want to tap this because I want to level the chocolate out. And then I'm going to go to my next one, and I want to do this. I'm going to be repeating. So this is a repeat process. Then I'm going to do another one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 3 at a time. Now we're going to pull our centers out of the freezer, and I'm going to put one into each of our piece of our chocolate bottoms, and I'm going to push it down far enough until the chocolate starts to come up and around the sides. Gonna get our chocolate, and we want approximately 3 grams of chocolate on the top. Spread our chocolate around, and if you see that you maybe don't have enough, just put a little bit more. It's okay. Then if you need to, you can use the blowtorch to help to pop any bubbles and to smooth out the top. And now I'll go on to my next 3, and I'll continue this process until they're all done. And then I'm gonna pop them in the refrigerator, and we're gonna come back and see how they turn out. Again, we're gonna push these in until the chocolate comes up around the side. And again, 3 grams of chocolate approximately on the top, because we want to make sure that we cover our peanut butter. And if you feel like you have air bubbles, you hit the top with a torch. This tray is done. I'm gonna put them in the refrigerator and let them set. We're back, or I should say, I'm back. This is the original Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. So if you can look, this is straight out of the package. This is what that looks like. This is the Gourmet Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. So as you can see, it is slightly larger. Our version is slightly larger, but doesn't it look a lot better? Let's cut into them. So this is the original. That's what it looks like. That's what the original looked like. Looks a little dry, honestly. And then we're gonna cut into ours. Now ours is darker. Ours is definitely darker. But let's give them a try. Original. Good. It's sweet. Very good. Our version, my version, is not quite as sweet, but has more chocolatiness, has a more chocolatey flavor, as well as a much more intense peanut flavor. I believe that's because I did roast my peanuts maybe a shade darker than I should have, but it really turned out really well. They're fabulous. Well, that's another episode of the Tilted Crown Gourmet in collaboration with the Inquisitive Farm Wife. This is Cookies and Candy 2025. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and you can make your own gourmet Reese's peanut butter cups. And let me tell you, they are, yes, a little bit larger, but the flavor is absolutely out of this world. If you have any questions, feel free to leave it down in the comments and I will answer it. And until next time, I'm the Tilted Crown Gourmet in collaboration with the Inquisitive Farm Wife, and this is the end for me of Cookies and Candies 2025. Until next time. Remember, your kitchen is your passport to the world, allowing you to explore diverse cultures and cuisines right from home as you explore new flavors and techniques. And as always, bon appetit.